Good day and welcome to Scriptural Daily Devotional today, Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. My name is Cynthia Whitesnow. Our scripture today is 1 Kings 17, verse 8 to 9. And the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. And see, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. In the book of 1 Kings chapter 17 from verse 2 to 6, God sends prophet Elijah to the brook called JIREH for him to hide there, and then provided for him through the ravens. They brought him food, brought him bread and meat in the morning and evening every day until the brook dried up because there was no rain. Now, God in his almightiness could have miraculously allowed that brook to keep flowing with water, but he allowed nature take its course, and then he sent Elijah to the widow at Zarephath. Now, God used the ravens in the brook JIREH. God used the ravens are actually very intelligent birds. That is why God used them for this assignment, I believe. They are this kind of birds that know how to hide their food. They can hide their food in front of a fellow raven or in front of someone, but the moment you are not observing, they quickly hide it. They quickly change the position of the food. So God used the ravens to feed prophet Elijah in the first location, and in the second location he sent him to the widow at Zarephath. It shows that God changes his methods, which brings us to point number 5. Be open to new methods of provision. Now, if you are just joining us, please watch part 1 for number 1 to 4. God bless you. Be open to new methods of provision. God changes his methods per time. Don't just close yourself or just depend on one source, one particular method. Understand that God could change at any given time. He is God. He's not limited by anything. So be open. Now, why does God change his methods? Number 1, to teach you lessons, to teach you and I lessons. It could be one of the fruits of the Spirit. He may want to teach you patience, maybe tolerance, maybe guide you into obedience. Number 2, to demonstrate his character. God is not limited by anything. To demonstrate his character, his power, his wisdom. Bible speaking in the book of Isaiah 55 verse 9, he is not limited by anything. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. It doesn't think like us. It doesn't do things like us. I'm sure that was what he was trying to teach Elijah. He taught Elijah that his ways are not our ways. He sent ravens. He showed Elijah that God could provide using unconventional methods. He sent ravens to feed Elijah, an unclean animal. And you know, in the law at that time, you are not supposed to touch an unclean thing. After that, he sent Elijah to the woman, the widow at Zarephath, a pagan woman. And God provided for Elijah through that woman. So God would want to teach you anything or demonstrate his power or his character. Then number 3, to avoid idolatry. As humans, when we get too used to a particular method or a particular way of receiving things from God, we idolize that method. For instance, if God has been blessing you through a man, many people have made man their God. For some, it's their business. They begin to see that man or that business as their source and not God. So God could dry up that means, that method, so that you can look up to him. I look up to him From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. You look up to God alone, not man, not that business. Don't see it as your source. God is your source. God only used them as channels to provide for you. Don't provoke God to jealousy, and then He will now do something that will make that method dry up or slow down or probably become unavailable. So please be very careful. Number next, to test your faith. To test your faith. God may want to test your faith. So He changes method to see if you will keep depending on Him, to train you to be dependent on Him alone and not on man. Number next, to prepare you for greater things ahead. God changes His method of provision to prepare you for greater things ahead. Maybe for a greater blessing. You don't remain in the same place. I remember the story of a man who prayed and went to Papa Adeboye that he wants God to bless him so that he can be able to sponsor crusades, sponsor kingdom works, sponsor church programs. And then after Papa Adeboye prayed for him, they sacked him from work. And he became angry and came back to Papa Adeboye and said, "What's going on?" I said, "You should pray for me. I want to be sponsoring this kind of things and all." But I got sacked. And Daddy Adeboye laughed and said, "You cannot sponsor kingdom projects or crusades with this salary you are receiving. So God removed you from there because He's taking you to a greater place. He's channeling you to for a greater blessing." And then the guy left, and today he's greater than what he used to be. He's now sponsoring crusades. He's now a billionaire. So God could change methods in order to channel you to greater blessings. Then lastly, to avoid stagnancy. Now I would explain this. For instance, maybe there's been a decree in the spirit that there will be supernatural help for bespoke tailoring, those into bespoke tailoring for 50 years. And after 50 years, ready to wear takes over. So God knows that after 50 years, if you're still doing bespoke tailoring, business will be coming, maybe slow, or it may just die down for you. So He creates another channel so that fashion designers don't lose out. Fashion designers don't become stagnant, and they'll keep making money. So He creates another means, which is ready to wear, and then you all of a sudden you just see that ready to wear is what is trending. If you don't invest in it at the time, you lose out. If you keep waiting for people to bring materials for you to sew as someone who is into bespoke tailoring, you will lose out. So God makes another channel, opens another channel, which is ready to wear, so that fashion designers don't lose out. So, but in the spirit, it has been decreed that for 50 years, bespoke tailoring is where the supernatural help will be. After 50 years, it moves to ready to wear. So if you are still you are not sensitive to what God is doing at the time, you will just be left behind. So you have to be sensitive, whichever one it is for you, whichever one you know God is speaking to you about, kindly apply it and be patient with God and see your provisions at the right time. God bless you. See you tomorrow by the mercy of God. And bye for now.